Of these, tragedy was the most popular. It's hard for us today to imagine that tragedy was an overwhelmingly favorite form of theater, but it was. The word tragedy, when translated directly from the ancient Greek language, means goat song. We can't say with certainty how this applies to the word and concept of tragedy. The natural assumption is that, since we now know that theater evolved from the ancient Greek ritual, the word may be addressing a common sacrifice that was performed during the dithyrambic choral performances. We once again turn to Aristotle's Poetics to define this genre of theater. Aristotle said that tragedy is an imitation of an action that is whole and complete and is of a certain magnitude. He goes on to explain that the tragic hero, in this form of drama, experiences a catastrophe, from which the audience experiences what he referred to as
The 5th century BC is regarded as the golden age of the city-state Athens. At this time also tragedy was at its height in Athenian society. In this era, 32 tragedies of 3 playwrights have survived. We have seen the first playwright, Aeschylus, has written about 80 plays. Only 7 have survived. He diminished the importance of the chorus and reduced it to 12 men. He probably innovated a second actor, thus making dialogue between characters possible. Each of the 2 actors usually played more than one role, including female characters. They wore always painted masks made of perishable linen, cork or lightweight wood. In particular on vase paintings, these tragic masks and costumes are depicted, but in most cases these faces are from a period later than the 5th century. Sophocles, the second playwright, is credited with the introduction of a third speaking actor. For centuries, the 3 actors became the formal convention. The actors could still play more than one character, distinguishing between them with masks. This change favored the interaction between actors and thus brought tragedy closer to a modern notion of dramatic plot. Sophocles is also credited for inventing scene painting by using painted panels or pinakes, similar to modern flags. A century later it might have looked like this. Sophocles is regarded as the most skillful of the 3 dramatists. His play, Oedipus Rex, or King Oedipus, is often called the most perfect Greek tragedy, although, by exception, he did not win the city of Dionysia with this play. Compared to Aeschylus, Sophocles created more complex and psychologically well-motivated characters. Euripides was the last playwright in the 5th century BC, from whom 18 complete tragedies have survived. His plays foreshadow the ultimate form of drama as we know it today by employing a more naturalistic or human approach in contrast to the remote scale and the formalized conventions used by both other playwrights. That in his days his plays were not highly appreciated might, among other things, be a consequence of the calling in question by his characters of the sense of justice of the gods, and by showing strong, intelligent women characters. Here an example of a strong woman in perhaps his masterpiece, Medea, winning only the 3rd prize at the Dionysia. Medea, a foreign princess, is just now ordered into banishment by Creon, the king of Corinth. She has to leave behind an adulterous husband, Jason, who wants to marry the daughter of the king.